everyone. In this video, I'll be explaining the basics of video editing in hopes that you'll have more of an online presence through videos at your local churches. In 10 steps, I'll explain the basic features of iMovie, an Apple application that is free on all MacBooks. The app looks like this, but if you can't find it on your dock, you can go up to this little magnifying glass icon, type in iMovie, and then press enter. When iMovie opens, press the Create New button and then Movie. This opens up your first project. First, I would like to explain the parts of this program. The box in the top right-hand corner is where you can view your video as you build it. This button allows you to view the video at full screen. The buttons along the top are used for more complicated editing. And this microphone button is used for voiceovers. This top left section is where you get all of the media for your video. You can get things like transitions, titles, audio, and even media that you import yourself. You can also use photos from your photos library by pressing this button. This last section is called the timeline, and it's the most important. You bring media from the top left-hand corner into the timeline to work on it, and then you can view it while you're editing in the top right-hand corner. First, we're going to learn about importing media. Before you import anything, make sure all your videos, images, and audio files are on your desktop. Now use your cursor to highlight all your files and drag them into the box that says Import Media. Now that all of your files are in iMovie, you can preview them by hovering your cursor over each file. You can see that I have imported 4 videos and 2 photos for the sake of this tutorial. To add videos to your timeline, click on the video you would like to add and then drag it down into the timeline. This is also the same way that you add things like photos and text to your project. Now that I've added all of my primary video files, I'll teach you how to work with the timeline. The timeline is pretty easy to work with, but it's important to know the basics. I've added a video here to demonstrate how I use the trackpad to operate the timeline. As you can see, I use 2 fingers to create a pinching motion to zoom in and out of the project. To move back and forth along the timeline, I use 2 fingers to swipe horizontally, moving throughout the project. Next, we'll learn how to work with a video. First, to change the duration of a video, place your cursor at either end of a clip and drag it in either direction. You can also reorder any clips by clicking on them and dragging them around. You can also split clips by putting your playhead in the place where you'd like to split the clip and using the Command B to split it. The playhead is the vertical line that shows where you are in the timeline. Next, you can also select any clips like this and press the Delete button on your keyboard to remove them. Lastly, remember that you can always preview your video by tapping anywhere in the timeline and using your spacebar to press pause and play, like this. Next, we'll learn how to work with audio. Importing audio is pretty much the same as importing video. Just tap on Audio in the top right corner, and you can either drag downloaded music or sound effects into your timeline. Here I'm just dragging in a song I downloaded from Adobe Stock. If you have many files in this audio section, you can also preview them before dragging them into your timeline by pressing the play button right here. To add sound effects, go to the Sound Effects tab and scroll through the sound effects until you find one you like. You can also just search for one if you have a specific idea of what you're looking for. In this case, I'm looking for a crickets sound effect, so I'll type that into the search bar and then select the sound I like. You can also preview these sounds before adding them, just like the music. As you're starting to see, all of the audio automatically goes down to the bottom row, the video stays in the middle, and any additional photos or text will go on top. This is very helpful for organization. To adjust the volume on any video or audio clip, just drag the horizontal line up or down depending on your goal. In this case, I'm turning all of the video clips down to 0 and turning the music down slightly, because for the best quality, you don't want any of these yellow lines. They mean that the audio is too loud. You can also move these audio clips around or change their duration, just like we did with the videos, as you can see here. Step 5 is adding transitions. Transitions are pretty simple and easy to add. Just tap the Transitions button in the top left-hand window. There are many to choose from, and you can preview them by hovering your cursor over each one like this. Next, drag the transition you like in between two clips. You know that a clip has transitions when this vertical line is replaced by this bow tie shape. Now I'll just add transitions to the rest of the intersections. Each transition defaults to being 1 second long, but if you would like to change this, click on the bow tie icon and then type in your desired length and press apply. And as always, it's important to review your video and look back at what you have just edited to make sure you haven't made any mistakes. You can use the space bar to press play and pause to do this. Next, we'll learn about adding graphics and still images. Just go to My Media and drag in any photos you would like. You can also add them straight from your photos library by pressing this button. As you can see, you can add photos parallel to the videos if you would like them to play by themselves, but you can also add them on top of the videos like this. When you add photos by themselves, they will automatically do the Ken Burns effect, which pans through the image as it plays. The only problem with this is that iMovie doesn't know what's in the photo, so it pans through the images randomly. To fix this, you might have to guide it by going to the top right and creating starting and ending boxes. To do this, select your photo, click the crop button, and move the start and end boxes to your desired location. In this case, I want the video to start at the bottom and end on the giraffe's heads, so I'll move the squares accordingly. Now if we just replay the video, you can see that the video starts at the bottom and goes up to the giraffe's heads, just like we programmed it to do. Now, to make our other picture smaller and on top of the video, go up to this icon here and change the setting from cutaway to picture-in-picture. Now that we've done this, we can clearly see the video underneath. You can also resize the image and move it in any way. Now I'll just preview the video using the spacebar. And as you can see, the image fades in and out very nicely. Next, we'll learn about working with text. First, click the Titles button in the top right-hand corner. Here you can preview many titles by dragging your cursor over them slowly, like this. Next, drag the text you would like into the timeline. Just like when we add photos to the timeline, you can do this in two ways. The first way is adding it on top of a video like this. In this case, the text will play at the same time as the video, just on top of it. The other way is adding it parallel to the video. In this case, the text will appear by itself with a black background. Either way, you can edit the text by clicking on the text box and typing in your desired title. You can do the same thing on text that is layered on a video like this. And don't forget to preview the video as you go by using the spacebar. Next, we'll learn about the other simple effects you can add. First, I would like to introduce you to some of the simple keyboard shortcuts that make editing easier and faster. Copy is Command C, Paste is Command V, Select All is Command A, Undo is Command Z, Redo is Shift Command Z, and as we've already talked about, you can use Command B to split a clip. Feel free to screenshot this screen to remember these shortcuts. Now let's talk about the extra effects that can be found in the top left-hand corner. First, let's learn how to change the speed of clips. To do this, select your desired clip and go up to the clock icon. Next, go to this drop-down menu and select the speed you would like. As you can see, if I select slow, the clip gets longer, and if I preview it, it's in slow motion. You can also decide how slow you want to clip by clicking on the percentages up here. Now, if I select fast, you can see that the clip becomes much shorter, and if I preview it, it looks like a time lapse. The second effect that we'll look at is video and audio filters. To use these, select the filters icon right here. You can change the video filter by pressing this button. Before deciding on a filter, you can preview as many as you want by hovering your mouse over them like this. Then just click on the filter you would like to add it. Now let's look at audio effects. They can be added to video and audio clips. Just press on this button and then preview the effects in the same way. You can make it sound like there's an echo, like you're on the telephone, or even like you're a robot. Just press on the effect when you decide on one. One of the last important steps is recording a voiceover. To do this, just press on this microphone icon, and then on this record icon when you're ready to begin. It will count down from 3 and then you'll begin talking. When you're done talking, just press on the record icon again. When previewing your voiceover, you'll notice that any other audio effects will automatically be turned down so that the voiceover is able to be heard. Once your video is complete and ready to be shared, press File, Share, and then File again. Then this screen will pop up, but before you press Next, I would like to point something out. All of the settings in this section should automatically be good for your video. 720p is a good resolution, and you want your quality to be high, because, as you can see, if I change it to best quality, the size of the file increases substantially, and this would become a problem when moving the file around. So it's best to keep the file quality at high. You can now press Next and change the file names and destination depending on your preferences. I'm saving mine to my desktop. Now, if you would like, you can post the video on YouTube or share it using applications like Google Drive and Dropbox. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful.